Four young men got a gunfight at a parking lot, and after one side opened fire, the other side ran away. The two sides chased each other to another city, firing dozens of shots along the way. Just the other day, a teenager took an automatic gun and shot a store in the morning. After a gunshot, he went to a police station and surrendered with confessing as, "I was in bad mood." And these two gunshots were both by teenagers. Something bizarre is that both stories happened in Taiwan in 2023. Well, I'm sure most of the guys can't believe it because it's kind of different from what you thought about Taiwan. Actually, just in 2021, the number of gunshots in Taiwan has been over 100, among 23 million population with growth for years. You know, their population is almost similar like Florida's. And in China mainland, Japan, and South Korea, there were only dozens of gunshots in 2021. Surprise! So, what exactly happened in Taiwan about a gunshot? Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm your brother from another mother, Max, and today let's talk about the rising gun violence in Taiwan and figure out the reason behind. Let's go! First thing first, in Asia, especially East Asia, gun violence control has always been doing well, and even more seriously saying, great. Even if there was still some cases like a Japanese Prime Minister Abe shot in public, but honestly, no matter the gunshot number or death number, it's been really good than many places in this world. Normally, when gunshot happened there, it was usually the national big news with much attention. But here, Taiwan is an exception. Just in early 2023, 7 massive gunshots happened in a week. And in Taoyuan City, which is close to capital Taipei, a leader of local gang was shot to death with 6 shots when he took out a garbage in the morning. In CCTV, we can say after the first shot, the gunner shot continuously, which means it was premeditated. So it's hard to imagine it was in Taiwan, but in recent years, the gun violence there was keeping rising around 100 cases every year, and it's opposite to Taiwan's population growth, which has been in low speed for years. Just like the case we mentioned, some cases are about the gang fight, but some others are actually personal. On 14 July 2022, in Nantou City, an employee took the gun back to company and killed the boss for his dissatisfaction. Just a week later, in Taichung City, a restaurant owner was shot and the police suspected it was because of emotional dispute with his ex-girlfriend. Just in the same week in another city, a man cannot get a payout in an investment dispute, and then he rushed into the hospital with a gun and killed 2 of his investors. Here, we can bring the US as an example to compare. The massive gunshot in America is mostly because the whole society can't have agreement about the strict gun control, and also a lot of groups supported and lobbied the gun use like NRA. Different from America, in Taiwan, most people support the strict control of using gun, and the government already made the regulation. According to Taiwan's gun control regulation, manufacturing, selling, and transporting firearm will be sentenced to 5 years in prison, and a serious case gonna be life in prison. Here, the firearm definition is not just the gun, it also includes the toy gun with the potential killing power, which is one of the top strict gun controls globally. Well, this definition is not just in Taiwan, but also most countries in Asia. However, this system is not perfect, and the first bug is Taiwan's gang organization. Different from gangs in Western world, Taiwanese gangs usually act publicly, which is kind of like Japanese gang. These groups are also the major of weapon smuggling, and some even have underground weapon factories. You know, because Taiwan's mature steel manufacturer and a huge steel output with over 20 million tons. And interestingly, its per output is even over China's. These factories never lack material. Sounds like a movie, huh? Here we have to know, because of Taiwan's geography, it's very hard to stop arms smuggling, which caused a huge number of personal gun possession there. According to Taiwan police statistics, in the last 5 years, over 100,000 illegal guns and 300,000 ammunition were found by police. Moreover, potential gun possession could be much bigger than this number. And that's one of the big reasons why, in Taiwan, some normal disputes like marriage or business could become gunfight. So in Taiwan, it could be much easier to buy the gun illegally than we thought. For those gang organizations, they have more powerful weapons, and a massive gunfight has been one of their regular ways to solve dispute. For a regular person, if you got a dispute with gangs, there is a huge possibility that a gang's gunner gonna look for you. In 2020, one of the biggest social media celebrity, Chen Jihan, was shot in Taipei, and later, police found out it was planned by one of the biggest gangs in Taiwan, Bamboo Union. Sounds a bit peaceful, huh? Like the name of a company for feeding giant pandas. In recent years, this sort of cases have been a lot, and honestly, what happened in Hong Kong movie was actually happening in Taiwan right now. No matter for gunners or gang head, keeping weapon for protection has been an option they have to do. This important reason finally blown the smuggling and underground weapon factories, which led a bigger illegal weapon market. Even if police can take away most weapons, they are able to very quickly supply it again. Well, I feel like they already reached the goal that this Republican candidate said in NRA party.
You want China not to invade Taiwan? Here's something we can do. The NRA can open its branch next time in Taiwan. And you want to stop Xi Jinping from invading Taiwan? Put a gun in every Taiwanese household. Have them defend themselves. Let's see what Xi Jinping does then. That is what it means to be an actual American. Train them how to use guns.
Compared to many countries which have many gangs because of poverty, in fact, Taiwan did a nice economic achievement in the last decade with over 4% growth rate, and its GDP per capita is close to Japan and South Korea already. So it's hard to believe so many people working for gangs. Okay, here comes the second reason. Firstly, Taiwan's huge economic growth in the last decade was mostly by cheap or machine manufacturing these few industries. Compared to other developed countries, Taiwan's population is much smaller, so they can have a huge boom just by a few industry upgrade and growth. Secondly, these industries with high skill requirement can't offer enough jobs for most young people. So for regular people, they can only get higher payment by doing service job for these high-tech industries. However, regular people's salary can't quickly catch up with the high-tech salary, which is almost equivalent to Silicon Valley's. Therefore, in the last decade, salary gap was actually being bigger. According to Taiwan's latest minimum salary, its monthly income is just about 2/3 of Japanese, which is nearly $900. By the way, in 2017, China ceased traveling visa to Taiwan, dozens of billion loss and massive service jobless happened. Moreover, in Taipei, the average housing price per square meter has been over $10,000. So for a lot of young men, it's very possible to join gangs if they're in bad financial condition. Okay, here's the question. We know Taiwan's government have police force and strict gun regulation. Why don't they use enforcement to solve this gang fight and gun problem? Well, here comes another historical issue: community conflict. Before Chinese National Party retreated to Taiwan in 1949 because of terrible local public security, there have been many gangs for protecting their interests as new immigrants. And people in these gangs benefit a lot in this way, which made more immigrants imitate. First generation was the farmers coming from mainland China, and then they expelled the native into mountains in this way. Sounds kind of similar, right? Then, as KMT retreated to Taiwan after losing its Chinese Civil War, more communities were born, like the military family community or the mainland Chinese immigrants community. There were often conflicts between them, and have not even disappeared so far. Like military family community, they have more power and force than local police, and this pushed more young guys joining gangs. Like the Bamboo Union we mentioned, their founders are all the descendants of military officers. Back in the days, Taiwan was still under the dictatorship ruling. So to this government, which came from mainland China, these gangs were actually these helpers for ruling. For example, in 1984, Taiwanese writer Jiang Nan, who lived in America, published a book unveiling some top leaders' political struggles and dictatorship. Then, he got a revenge from Taiwanese President Son. He asked the two members of Bamboo Union going to San Francisco and finally did assassination. Later, Taiwan's government just symbolically arrested some gangsters after this case exposed in America. One of the two assassins was even sentenced to life in prison, but released on amnesty in 1988. When Taiwan went to democracy, the strength of the gang were even bigger, and some previous local small gangs united to a new alliance named Tendo Union, challenging Bamboo Union. New ruling party, Democratic Progressive Party, they went closer to this brand new union and supported a lot behind. Like in 2003, when one of the gang leaders, Zhang Naifu, died, the president and vice president at the time, who belongs to Democratic Party, wrote the eulogy for him. Also, there was rumors like Taiwanese former president Chen Shui-bian is one of the leaders of Tendo Union. Until today, most of the Taiwanese candidates, even president, have to go to gang leaders' activity for seeking support, because these guys can't help them getting more votes from local community. So you can think they're also the role of local senators, and in fact, some gang leaders are really the members of local parliament. So no matter which party in ruling, no one want to get trouble with gangs, and every time after election, they have to give rewards to these gang leaders for appreciation. In 2016, after current President Tsai Ing-wen won election, one of the famous gang leaders, Huang Cheng-kuo, became the member of her party's Central Committee. In recent years, as more calls for abolishing death penalty in society, more and more judges prefer no more death, so more criminal cases penalty were reduced, and even some violence penalty were also with more probations. Therefore, this caused more gangs prefer using jobless young men, even teenagers, as their gunners, and many of them do love to take this job without a fear of death penalty. And that's why at the beginning of our video, the teenager actively surrendered to police after gunshot. Despite the number of gun violence was rising, nothing could be changed a lot because most police and the local government have deeper relations with these gangs. For example, many videos and photos were exposed like policemen participating in gangs party and having fun together. Wow, feels like time back to the 1920s in Chicago, right? More importantly, Taiwan doesn't have any regulation limiting the money trading with gangs, so they can easily make money in different ways and penetrate into all industries of society, Like in Japan, there is strict law stopping any illegal transactions with the gang organizations. Okay, back to the topic. I think we can't find any way to fix this problem so far, and we could possibly see more gun violence in Taiwan in the future. So maybe right now, Taiwan is more like a tinderbox, not because of its tense relation with China, but the huge scale of illegal gun and more terrible public security. And this could be more dangerous to its people than their enemy on the other side. Thank you guys for watching, and hopefully subscribe, ring the bell, and leave some comments if you like. See you next time.